Hello friends, how are you today? I am back again once more to talk about Dark World Lightwork as a living document. As you know, the book is a memoir and the book is a memoir. It's about my life. It begins at the very beginning of this storyline, which is the fall of man in the Garden of Eden. It picks up with me as a youth in Hebrew school, and it continues on to this very day. If you've been following along, you'll know that at the end of the book, I kind of talk about how I was falsely arrested for the third time in 5 years. 3 times they falsely arrested me for the same thing. Oh, and I keep saying that. And the reason why they kept coming back is because I just never showed up to any of the court proceedings because they were a farce. And I have a right, and everybody does have a right not to participate in something that you know is an illegal activity. So if I consider the second the police violated their own rules in coming for me, they became the militia force. So anything and everything that they did after that is them being the criminals. And I've maintained that for all of these years. And part of the story is how no one in my family tried to help me get justice because a lot of them were cops themselves. But that is not what I'm here to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is how the story played out. So I ended up being falsely arrested. I stayed with my mom for a little while. And if you were following along on the videos, it was in a very, very bad car accident in which the car was totaled. The front and the back of the car were smashed. Like the car was smashed, and it was a minivan. So I can't even imagine if I wasn't as in good shape as I am, or if the car had been different, what had happened. It was brutal. And I was surprised that I walked away as clean and clear as I did. But I think the whole point of that accident was to prove to everyone in my family exactly what happened to me. It was a replay. It was so blatant. The guy was clearly out of line. He was racing a Maserati in a BMW at 10 a.m. on a 2-lane street. It was completely out of line. So out of line, and so the guy's fault that they just gave me the policy limits on 2 separate insurances, because that is how blatant it was. And everyone in my family got to see an example of exactly the kind of offense that occurred to me the first time, when I'm just sitting in my house and a group of people come with arms and pull me out of my house. It was just completely out of line, and they're going to pay me out in that similar manner, where it's just so obvious that they're just going to pay me out. And that is coming soon. And they knew that I had no good credit because I had to use my credit card the first time I was made homeless. I still had there's a thing on my record because I had to settle for some bullshit. And everybody told me they were going to help me get that off my record because they're cops and they know how. Nobody offered when the time came. And my mom and her husband thought, okay, you don't have credit. You have no work history for the last 5 years. Now you can definitely get out of the house and be on your own. They're ridiculous. And I paid them. I paid them the equivalent of about $400 a month to stay there, based on what I gave them when I got my money. And my mother demanded a fee because she's an insurance claim agent. She was, and she called the agency for me, so she demanded a fee for that from me. Now, she also did the same thing of her friend at the same time, and her friend just stopped talking to her and didn't give her any of the money back. But that's the situation. I know it sounds petty and small, but it's just things that you think about, like, I cannot believe it. And this is a woman who stole from me. Her stealing from me was part of the reason why I ended up here, and then she had the nerve to demand the money. And here's the kind of person I am. I gave it to her. I gave her twice what she demanded. I gave her what she demanded, and then I gave her husband what she demanded. Partially because that's the kind of person I am. More importantly, is because it was less than I intended to give them from my heart. It was less than I intended to give them from my heart. It's who I am as a person, and it looks good for the next story. Okay? I'll be right back.